have time for a few questions. Even use a mic.
You spoke of the human as being this self-referent idea right now, but it's always been that way. It's always been that way, hasn't it?
Well, there's somebody that gets to the heart of the issue. It has, but within limits. Humans have a destructive record from early times, that's true. But from early times, the various communities validated the human existence by incorporation into the great drama of the universe, the great liturgy.
Give me an example.
The universe, pardon?
Give me an example, though.
China. The Chinese had a wonderful sense of the human and the cosmos and the universe. In fact, of all the civilizations, the largest civilizations, they had the most extensive. They had 3 books of ritual that they wrote. One, the Li Qi, describes how the palace of the emperor had to be so constructed that the different seasons of the year, the emperor had to move from one part to another, change the color of his robes, change the music, change the whole thing, because the human had to change as the universe changed. And the rituals would be performed, and the way in which humans got their authority to do anything was through how they position themselves in regard to the universe. Now, I'll take the American Indian. When it came time, and then their personal discipline, a person had to go on a vision quest in the transition from childhood to adulthood, and do a fasting of days and prayer to the universe, and to place himself at the center of the universe, so that, and appeal to the powers of the universe, so that during his lifetime he would be able to function in an integral way with the way in which the universe functions. In fact, all the civilizations in the Egyptian, with their pyramids, they oriented them toward the east. And there's always the question of how do you relate to the universe? So, whereas it was not carried out perfectly, it was a condition for human existence, for the validation of human existence.
Yes.
Just so that everybody can hear, Tom, you mentioned as part of the problem the Constitution and how it supported the individual. But I have a sense that the global constitutions are now giving precedent to the multinational corporations, and the rights of individuals are now, in some cases, second place. Would you have a few words to say about that comment?
Or a short book.
The globalization of economics is really an awesome disaster, a person might say, because it constitutes itself as a kind of a world government, and in which it just overwhelms all local economies, all local governments, and is validated by the World Trade Organization, which came out of the Rio Conference and the idea of sustainable development. And even toward the end of World War II, the World Bank and the International Monetary Fund were set up because they realized that after the war, there was going to be a need and an opportunity for the economic powers to establish this comprehensive, universal world of economics. And the different corporations would have a new width or a new extension of their power. So that the constitutions now have become dysfunctional because of the power of economic corporations on a comprehensive basis. And it's not simply protecting the rights of individuals, but it's protecting the rights of local communities, the rights of village economies and so forth to exist. Now, there is a need for economic assistance, but it must not overwhelm the dignity and the independence of local communities to have the honor and the skill to preserve themselves. And so but that is being wiped out now by this comprehensive economy. Yeah. Yes.
It's an honor to be here today and to hear you, not for the first time, but you have, I'm sure, instilled in all of us a genuine concern as to what is going on this planet. And my interest and concern is, what can all of us who are here today do in practical terms to help to initiate the cultural and, you might say, psychological revolution that is needed if this planet is to be preserved and if the human species is not just to survive, but to function creatively in the future? If you have practical suggestions, I hope that every single one of us here will not only hear, but act.
Amen. Well, that is something that happens every time I speak to college students. Inevitably, somebody stands up at the end, and I've been talking a long time, and says, well, what can I do? And so I said, well, what can you do? What do you like to do? What are you good at? What gives you a real thrill of doing something that gives meaning to your life? So I say, the first thing is competence. We need competent people in every sphere. That's why here, I think probably the amount of competence here is extensive in a variety of fields, because this is not something for any individual or for any special vocation or skill. It's comprehensive. Everybody is in the game. And that's why in that beginning of the first chapters of the book that I did the great work, I indicate this. It's we need teachers, we need engineers, we need political people, we need parents, we need electricians, we need everybody. We need religious leaders. No, so I don't have a program. I don't think, there are three things: principles, strategy, tactics. In other words, most of what I talk about is the basic orientation, because I think that ultimately that is what is going to govern the issue. But principles, strategy. Now, strategy is what particular program, like in education, a strategy that would rethink education, or strategy that would rethink economics, or strategy in the religious field, or whatever, or something like that. And tactics, that would be the specific projects in economics, the people that are doing, say, the community-supported agriculture. That would be a tactics measure that would have the immediate effect. Or a teacher that introduces a slant or a context in the teaching that would rethink the process, so that there are those three levels of action, and we need to have something that has the power of a comprehensive vision that functions in different strategic areas and has tactical efficacy of immediate functional programs. Now, sometimes people that are interested in more in tactics or strategy feel that the people dealing with the larger comprehension of things are abstract. Well, they are, but that reorientation of the mind is extremely important, as well as a person who gets down and does the planning for a local community agricultural project.